Hitting 10K, 20K, or even 50K a month is great. But if you're doing it all yourself, you're eventually gonna burn out. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to hire your first VA the right way. Where to find them, where to vet them, and how to manage them so they can actually make your life easier. Let's go ahead and get into it. So first things first, when should you hire your first VA? So me personally, I hired my first VA when I hit about 30,000 in revenue for my first month. Now, you can drop that down and do about 20 to 25,000 depending on what your margins are. You don't want your VA expense to eat up all of your profit margins if they're already low. So for your first VA full-time, you can expect to be paying your VA at $3 an hour for 40 hours a week. With 4 weeks in a month, this is going to add to about $480. So if you're not making at least $4,000 a month in profit, net profit after all expenses, this probably isn't a good idea and you should wait until you scale to that point before hiring your first VA. But if you're doing above $4,000 in profit a month, this is going to be a good turning point in your business to start outsourcing and getting more stuff done so you can focus on those tasks that thread the needle. So I'm going to go ahead and share screens and show you guys exactly where I personally find my VAs and the exact process I use to hire and vet them. Let's go ahead and get into it. So here is where we find VAs to hire. We're on a website called OnlineJobs.ph, and this is basically a job finding site for the Philippines. It's kind of like how we have Indeed over here in the United States. We can go on Indeed and go look for jobs. This is a site where people in the Philippines can come look for a job that is virtual, work from home, working for someone in another country, etc. So once you get to the site, you have to make an account and it costs $69.99 a month to be able to post job listings and have all the features to this website. It's definitely worth it. Now, you're not going to have to keep this running month on month on month. It's only going to be a 1 month expense because 30 days should give you plenty of time to find a VA and vet them properly. So once you've made your account, now you'll have access to be able to post a job. So what we're going to do is go ahead and click post a job. So when we have this, you'll have your job title, what kind of employment, your job description, and how much they're getting paid, how much hours a week, and then your contact information down here. Then you can put some skill set down at the bottom, and you can even type in like online arbitrage, see, or Keepa. Stuff like that. So we can figure out which applicants are qualified. So let's get into the bread and butter. The most important part is how you format your job post. So here's an old job post that I had, and I've been very successful with this format, and I encourage you to do the same type of format so you can get the same results as I did. So basically what I do, I say, hey, we've been in the Amazon space for a year. Doesn't really matter. Just give them a short introduction of who you are. I was looking for 4 to 5 VAs at the time. We have minimum criteria that needs met. We are looking for individuals who have an understanding of Keepa and SellerAmp. We don't need someone who is an expert because we plan to come in and train them. Basically, we just want someone who understands how SellerAmp and Keepa works, so we're not starting from the bottom and teaching them bare bones basics on how to use the software. There are plenty of VAs out there who have taken classes, courses, etc., got trained in the past. They have their idea of sourcing, but we don't want that. We just want to know if they can use SellerAmp and Keepa. So then I give them a baseline requirement, so a minimum of 25 weekly leads, 5 a day, and we will provide them SellerAmp and Keepa. Now you can let your VAs use your SellerAmp and Keepa. SellerAmp will allow you to have up to 5 people on your account. Keepa, you need to get 1 subscription on your account per person. Now Keepa has tightened down over the years. You do need this. You cannot have 1 subscription and have 3 people on your account. Now for 25 leads a week, I would say that's pretty aggressive and you could lower that. I would say anywhere from 15 to 20. We're going to push more for quality and not quantity. We don't want to stress them out, overwhelm them with that high number and have them performing under extreme pressure. I'd rather have them bringing me quality leads every single day over 25 leads that are just So next up, I have all the VAs complete a trial phase. Now what this trial phase is essentially they are working for us for a short period of time so we can get an understanding of their skills and where they're at with Amazon. There's going to be no prior training involved. This is just to see their general understanding of coachability, their work ethic, and their communication. So you're not looking for how good they are at sourcing. You want to see if they're good at receiving feedback and applying that feedback to the work that they're doing. So for example, if they found a product that was the completely wrong product and they posted it and we said, hey, what you posted was 10 ounces on Amazon. This is actually a 13-ounce bottle. We can't do that. We want to see that they take that feedback into consideration and not make that same mistake again. Coachability is the #1 trait you want to have in your VA team. So we do this trial phase for 3 days and we don't pay them their full-time pay yet. Since this is just a sample, they are not not fully onboarded to our team yet. So they get paid $150 an hour, and after trial completions, we will evaluate and make a hiring decision. Now, throughout their trial period, after every single day, you need to be going in and giving them the most detailed feedback as possible so they can improve and you can see that they are actually able to apply these things that you are telling them into their technique. So once they are hired, we will raise them immediately to $3 an hour. And then after 3 months, we change this to 6 months later on. We reevaluate performance and then we raise their base pay up to $350, $4 an hour, whatever you think you need to move up to, but we do a tiered chart system. So we provide opportunity for long-term growth. You want your people on your team to be able to have a vision of growth. If they are going to make that same pay for the rest of their lives, they are not going to want to stick with you and grow with you. So we will reward them for hard work and dedication to the business. We promote from within, giving you the opportunity to become a virtual assistant team manager. So we have 2 managers on our team. They've both been with us for almost 2 years, and they have consistently gotten pay raises and new opportunities to generate income within our business aside from sourcing. These are the opportunities you need to give to your team so they can actually have that vision and they can provide a better life to their family as well. Now, we also do bonuses on a monthly basis with a profit share structure. Now, we have revised this for our own business, but this is what we used to do. Now, figure out what works best for you, but create a bonus system so they have an incentive to provide you better quality leads. And if your bonus system is incentivized on quantity, then so be it. But we prefer our VAs to push more quality leads over quantity. So now here is the secret sauce to finding the best VAs. Right here, it says, to ensure you are fully reading this, please put only AMZ in the subject line while applying. Most of these VAs are applying with ChatGPT, copy-paste responses, or just mass applying. You do not want that. You want someone who has key attention to detail. Now, I hide this right in the middle of the paragraphs to ensure that they are reading through this whole entire application. You're going to be surprised. You'll have a lot of applicants that do not see that and they completely disregard it. And I'll show you in just a second. So we explain our structure in our initial call. So we have an initial call basically going over criteria before they start their trial. We basically give them expectations on what they need to do, what I expect, and what they should expect out of me. Training will be conducted on a frequent basis. I highly recommend hopping on Zoom calls with your team, building that relationship, not just over text and keyboard. You don't want to just do that. Hop on a call with them, turn on your camera, get face to face with these people. These are real people overseas. Create a positive work environment for them, somewhere where they want to show up and they feel welcomed and they're happy to come to work every single day. Be that boss that you always wanted someone else to be when you were working a job. If you did, you know how bad it is having a bad boss or someone who doesn't make you feel welcomed, or a good environment. Make them want to show up to work every day. Give them good opportunities. Give good incentives. You're going to build a much better team if you have a relationship with them. Now, lastly, we are requiring our team to sign up with Hubstaff. This is a productivity keeping software. Basically, they clock in, it tracks their time, their productivity, and makes sure that they are not working with other clients, because that can happen with a new VA before you have a relationship built with them. That's why I always harp on the relationship. If you have a good team that's loyal, you can trust them, you'll be able to scale your business much farther than you ever expected. And then lastly, I asked them for Skype username. We no longer use Skype. It's now Microsoft Teams, but they dropped that. So that's where we communicate. We do all of our group chats there, etc. There are many other platforms you can use. You can use Slack, WhatsApp, whatever you want, as long as you have a platform where you can communicate efficiently with all of your team. So now let's get into the applications. I'm going to show you guys my personal applications and what they look like. Remember, I showed you that the subject line, they needed to have a specific keyword in there, or this is what happens with their applications. So let's go ahead and go in. So you see all of these people, they have our tagline in. So these people were qualified. They have only AMZ in their subject line. But you see this guy right here, he failed to read the application. This person failed. This person failed. Best candidate ever. I don't think you're the best candidate ever when you can't even follow instructions. You're a future VA. I don't think so. You can't follow instructions either. But you see all these other people were reached out to. Now you can see that we already clicked these applications because they were already reached out to or hired. The ones up top, we already filled our criteria for our VAs, so we had no need to reach back out to them. So after you post your job, you're going to get hundreds of applicants. You could see right here, we have 246 unread messages. But to be fair, 80% of these people do not qualify just because they do not follow instructions. If your VA cannot follow instructions in the beginning, they're not going to be able to follow instructions in the long run. It's just one of the easiest red flags to weed out and keep moving. So once they met the criteria of putting this in the subject line, we'll go in and we will review their application. So right here, this is another red flag applicant. As you could see in our last application, we asked them to provide their Skype or Microsoft Teams username, and there is nothing in here. So I would not even reply. I would not send a message. It's just a failure to follow instructions. I would simply go back and click on the next one. So we don't need to read any of this. It's probably ChatGPT or copy and paste, but this person followed both of the key directions. They have this right here, and then they gave their Teams username down here. So I would reach out to this individual. Same thing, just go down the list. I believe this person responded, we just ended up not getting back to them because we filled the spot. Same thing with this person, just go through, check for your tagline and check for the email. Boom, meets criteria. Reach out to all these people, then conduct your initial call, get to meet them, set them up for the trial, and then see if they can take your coaching and apply that to their work. Now, after you have completed that, you should have a couple VAs that you were able to reach out to and get them on a trial. Now, these VAs can basically do any task you need. Now, and specifically for this video, I went over a product research VA. I also have an admin VA, purchasing VAs, and other VAs for various tasks that save me time every single week. Now, some of the biggest mistakes I see when people are hiring VAs is they aren't building that relationship with the VAs. That's probably the biggest thing in this whole process that actually makes a difference. When you have a team that actually cares about growth, cares about the business, and cares about the opportunity, and you build that vision for them as well, it's not all about us. We need to create good lives for them as well, a good work environment, and a good opportunity for them. Once you have all that up on the table, you're gonna see your growth scale at a much faster pace than it was before. I see too many people just typing back and forth, not reviewing their VA's leads, not staying up to date with them, not training them, and then wonder why their performance is not up to standards. And then one more thing on top of that, I see people not paying their VAs for work. I don't care how good or how bad your VA performed that week, they are entitled to the paycheck if they put in work for your business. It doesn't matter if they did bad work, because half of the time that bad work falls back on your lack of training and your lack of effort that you are putting into your team. If your team is consistently making the same mistakes, that's not a them issue, because they don't know right from wrong sometimes, and you need to be the business owner, step in, show them how to do it, make sure they understand how to correct these mistakes and can apply this. If you aren't doing that and your team is still making mistakes, this is your fault. You cannot just not pay your VAs if they're doing bad work. It's completely okay to get rid of a VA if they aren't meeting standards, but you need to pay them even when you're letting them go. So that's how to hire your first VA the right way. Once you have leverage with employees, your business starts to scale 10 times faster. If you want my help structuring your team, check the link in the description and apply for my one-on-one program. And don't forget to subscribe for more FBA content. I drop videos every single week. So go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.